So why is it so hard for people to run campaigns and market? And why is it so hard for ad agencies to really have good success and good luck with running campaigns? Well, unless you have access to a Facebook engineer, it's hard to get this information. It's hard to get this data and make this work. Okay. So let me show you some information here that this will help things out a lot. Okay. Tracking is very important. So most people will set up a pixel and pass conversions of their sold data to Facebook. Now this is excellent, but here's one of the major problems with this is most people do not send that information just to the browser and to the Facebook server. Okay, you can set that up in there like manually, but it'll kind of automatically set it up for you to their server, right? CAPI server, their API connection. But the problem is it needs to be actually a little bit better than this, like through Tag Manager or some kind of, that's Google Tag Manager, or some kind of other thing like Cometly, Hyros, Wicked Reports that can send this information to, and then make sure the attribution of the campaign is proper. So what that means is like you have 5 or 6 campaigns in there. Facebook is going to kind of spread around, which one sold, and that's not always exactly correct. Okay, so that's the purpose of one of those tools is the attribution and showing the campaigns properly which ones are getting the sale for you. Next part is the pool of people, your circle, your little pond of people that you're advertising to. So in Ads Manager, your ad account and your pixel is going to be kind of predetermined to this set amount of people. So when you set up a conversion campaign, it's going to heavily retarget people, and that's kind of an issue. So how do we combat that? Well, what we do is we set up a feeder campaign, another conversion campaign, because I'm really focused on getting sales and I really want Facebook to show the right ad to the right person at the right time. So we're going to be using conversion. It just gets down to it and it'll find you people a lot better. Once you need to scale and kind of branch off, then you can do engagement and other things. But let's concentrate on this first. So conversion campaign, somebody who has not been to your website, okay, in 180 days. That's the longest it'll let you go out. So 180 days, people who have not been to your website or seen your Facebook. So we want fresh, new people. Because if we just do our main campaign, right, or one with all the videos in it, it's going to retarget a lot. And the more you increase your budget, it's going to kind of keep sending the same people back. Your CPAs are going to go up. You're going to see like people keep going back and seeing the videos more and more and more. And that's kind of an issue. Heavily retargeting. Sometimes we just want to get fresh people into that campaign. So we run a feeder campaign or top level campaign. Conversion's the objective, okay? And if you do Advantage Shopping Plus, it's going to kind of ignore your targeting. So I do the standard conversion ad. So I'm going to set up conversion feeder, okay? That one is, again, people who have not been to your website or Facebook in 180 days. Then I'm going to create my main campaign that's going to be a retargeting campaign. And then what's going to happen is it's going to feed a bunch of people in. It's going to show them their first like 1 or 2 videos that you think are the best to show them to introduce yourself or your product. And then you're going to have another campaign with like 15, 20 different videos on it, depending on your budget. And I wouldn't start off that heavy. I would start off like 3 or 4 and then, add in 1 or 2 every like 3 to 4 days. So Facebook can understand this. Okay. So now this brings people in. Okay. And it doesn't keep retargeting all the same people. And then we're going to go retarget people for like 28 days. And then what's going to happen is it'll push people out after, they're kind of, it's done. It sees they're not really engaging or buying or converting. And then it's going to keep throwing new people and they're just going to try to sell them. Now, if you have your tracking set up properly, right? Okay. I'm talking server-side tracking, okay? It's where you get your pixel really dialed in and you send all the events to Facebook, okay, through their API. And the reason we're going to do server-side is you're going to create, and this is get a little tricky here, but this is how this works. You get a subdomain on your website, okay, and you're passing the information through the subdomain. It's done through Tag Manager or however you want to do it, and it's going to pass this information to Facebook's pixel. It's going to pass it to the server, and it's going to get blocked way, way less than normal. Just set it, because if you normally just set up a pixel and capture all the data through the pixel, a lot of it's going to get blocked. A lot of it. And you can't really scale. It's like taking, half of the information or less, and then you're going to, not send your sales in and stuff. Facebook can't scale. Facebook is such an amazing, intelligent machine. It is phenomenal. It is really working well for a lot of good media buyers out there. And I'm not talking your average ones you usually call for your business. I'm talking big brands, and some big brands don't have it, but big brands will usually have a good media buyer. They know how to set this up, and they'll have a team of people set up the tracking, make sure the conversions, everything's dialed in, the sales page is dialed in. But this is the nuts and bolts, how you get good at this. It took me many years to figure out how this works. It's tracking, it's setting up your campaigns right, the way I told you, not the old way. The old way is done. Andromeda's here. It has to be done like this, okay? I told you feeder campaign and then the secondary or targeting campaign. Now you can throw some other reach and a little engagement and stuff to push people in, but I wouldn't heavily rely on it, right? It's just like a different sub way to get people in to your funnel, and instead of just going heavily on, this retargeting engagement. It's just, I have not had any luck with that anymore. That's the old way. That used to work, but it doesn't work with Andromeda now, okay? Andromeda is amazing, okay? But you have your pool of people. You got to remember, Facebook is going to keep retargeting those people. So what you have to do is you got to throw new people in there, okay? You have to do the cold audience campaign. All right. And like I said, if you do Advantage Shopping Plus, it's going to ignore a lot of these targeting things you put into there. So that's why we don't do that. You can experiment and try them side by side, right? Facebook's all about experimentation. You can hire the best media buyer you could possibly ever find. And you know what? They're just never going to find enough time today to sit there and tweak everything, because they're going to be working on other, companies, and they're going to be good at it. So they know how to set this up and make it work. But if, you really want to worry about all these little finite details and stuff, you can sit there and test all this stuff yourself. If you get the budget, you get the time, you get the energy to do all this. It's a lot of work. Okay. So setting all this up and then testing, Advantage Shop Plus and this and that, you can try them side by side. This stuff is a lot of work. So this is why I recommend what I'm doing. Okay. The next thing on this is, obviously setting up tracking, setting up the campaigns right. And then the third part is learning how to read Ads Manager, okay? And when you're going to be looking at these campaigns, you're going to be comparing how they work bi-weekly or weekly. And you're going to make your changes weekly or bi-weekly. You're not going to change the stuff. You can't change it on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. It won't work, because the whole week has a rhythm, and you cannot change that. You can't just, make an edit on Monday and then Wednesday and then Friday, and hopefully, it doesn't work fast enough. Weekends are usually very kind of similar, so we want to do it by one whole week or 2 whole weeks, to make sure that it's properly read. So now, okay, back to the percentages. We're going to look at how much it costs per conversion, okay, and the percentages of each ad. Are they going up or down? Is the cost going up or down? Okay, and then we're going to look at the hook rate, and then we're going to look at like frequency and ad spend, but really mostly ad spend, hook rate, and your and how much it costs. And you're going to compare the percentages. So a really good media buyer, ad buyer is going to do this. They're going to compare the percentages. And if you're not comparing percentages week on week, then it's guessing. You're going to look at conversions. Cool, because if you got no software like Wicked Reports or anything like that, it's going to be, it could show you attribution wrong. Hey, this ad got you a sale. This ad got you a sale. It's not going to be right. You have to have attribution software to look at that. Okay. But we're going to be mainly looking at those other factors. If you don't have that and you can't afford that, we're going to be looking at the percentages. These are custom builds, something you have to do in the back end of Facebook. So you'll be able to figure this out if you already know kind of what you're doing. You need this help, but usually this is a little bit more aggressive for most people. So if you need to, you can feel free to reach out to me. Website is guided-marketing.com, and you can reach out on the homepage there, and you can reach me and see if you need any help. Let me know, and I'll do what I can to help you out. Maybe we find a program or something that works for you, or I have the right course or something. We'll figure something out. You just have to reach out to me, okay? So I really hope this helps you out. This took me many years to figure out. I'm having phenomenal success with this, and a lot of big companies are. They're doing really, really good with this. So hopefully this helps out. All right, take care.